All morning, we're sharing with you the stories of the helpers and the heroes. We like to do this, particularly at the end of difficult weeks of news. People who are helping others face the challenges the pandemic is creating across the country. And as I was just mentioning, one of the big issues right now is food insecurity. Many Canadians turning to food banks for the first time ever as they lose their jobs or their businesses close. So this morning, one community-based solution. Take a look at this. If you happen to be in the Toronto area, you may have spotted one of these in your neighborhood. It's what's called a little free pantry, sort of a pop-up food bank. And I want to introduce you to the co-organizer of Toronto's Little Free Pantries project, Simon Strauss. Right beside one of those pantries in Toronto. Simon, welcome to our program and good morning.
Good morning, Heather. Thanks very much for having me.
Hey, you have a good camera operator there, zooming in and everything. This is fantastic because we want to see up close and we want to hear what you're doing. You're right beside one of your little free pantries. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so this is the one we have in front of our house, and we've just installed it in the last week or so. So, as you said, similar to Little Free Library, which we also have, it's, a box on legs with a door that you can open, and inside all kinds of necessities, food, and also hygiene products and other things that people are free to stock up if they have extra, and people can take as they need.
Can your camera go in a little bit closer to see the kinds of things that are in there? Thank you. So who puts these supplies in here then, Simon?
Yeah, so it's a combination. We stock up, but we've also encouraged neighbors to stock it as well. So we sort of keep an eye on it and, have a few items on hand when it needs filling. But also our neighbors have come out and been very generous as well in filling it up.
I see cereal, I see tissue, I see canned goods, things that people might need. All in keeping with your slogan, which I think is just great. Give what you can, take what you need. That's the idea, is it?
That's right. Yep, that's it.
So, who's using these?
Yeah, as the slogan indicates, it's really anyone who needs. So obviously in the economic situation we're in, there are a lot of people who might not otherwise, consider using a food bank, but might be forced to, because of their economic situation, might need a little extra help to kind of get through the week, be it with food or with other necessities. So we don't know exactly who's using it. As people use it, we don't sort of, try and give them their privacy. But it could be, people in the service industries that have been hit hard, or students, or, other neighbors and people within the area just who need it.
So the word privacy, I think it's interesting. Maybe people who are uncomfortable with the whole notion of having to line up or something at a food bank, this is something that they can just do discreetly if they need some extra help. Is that part of the thinking as well? Exactly.
Yeah, that's part of it. Yeah, we know that food banks are quite overwhelmed right now, and I'd certainly encourage anyone who's watching to donate to food banks financially or in whatever way they can. But this is kind of a supplement to that if, like you say, people aren't maybe comfortable getting into the system, or they're having trouble accessing the food bank because it's too far, or don't feel comfortable maybe signing up just yet.
It's the honor system, I guess, Simon, in terms of only people taking the food, people who really need it. Do you think it's working?
So it seems to be, yes. We've heard stories. Ours is relatively new, so I think the word is still getting out. But from the group I'm in, hearing about the other ones, some of them are being emptied at multiple times per day. So there really does seem to be a need for it. It is a trust system, and we do hope that the people who are using it are the ones who actually need it. As part of being good neighbors and supporting the community, it feels like something that we wanted to do, and our neighborhood really wanted to do.
So can people just put these up, or are you building those kits for people, or how do you get one in your neighborhood?
Yeah, so it's a combination. We encourage people, if they can, if they have the means and the materials and the experience, to build their own and put up their own. You need permission from the property owner, obviously. We also have a waiting list of people who have reached out and said, I'd really love one, but we don't have one, or we don't have the materials or expertise. And we do have a few volunteer builders who are hard at work building new ones for people. And as soon as they're done, we deliver to people. So far, it's been across the city. We have had a few asks from outside of Toronto as well, Burlington and Mississauga so far. But we have about 21 of them on our map so far, and our aim was to get at least 30, but really, as many as are needed and as many as people want to host.
Isn't that fantastic? It's certainly something that not just Toronto would need to contend with. Food insecurity is a national issue, so certainly could see this being applicable across the country. Those little free libraries have become fixtures of neighborhoods now. Do you think that the little free pantries may join them in terms of lasting long term?
Yeah, I mean, the need for these is not just now during the COVID epidemic, pandemic, but it really is long term. I mean, food insecurity has been an issue in Toronto for a long time, and we do see that this is something that could continue afterwards. And I should mention as well, we're also encouraging people who have little free libraries to think about converting those into pantries, at least in the short term, or making it kind of a combination, because then you've already got sort of the infrastructure set up, and you can just make that switch easily.
A fantastic community effort there, Simon, and thank you for telling us about it. Thank you for showing it. Thank you to your camera operator, who is doing a great job, who I think is laughing there. Hello, whoever you are, doing that. You're hired, doing a great job of showing us what is in there, and thanks for sharing that story on this day. We salute the people who are helping, and that certainly includes you and the cat, apparently. The cat. Simon, thanks a lot.
All right, thanks very much, Heather. Appreciate it.
Simon Strauss there in Toronto.